Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you read the title, that means you know today I'll be filling my sketchbook or have my sketchbook in a week, and I'm going to be taking you along with me. I first started off by decorating the cover, as the first cover just was not my vibe and I wanted to get into the mood to finish it properly, so I did a sketchbook. Okay, so our first drawing is this pretty flower reference. It was the first thing I could really think of drawing. It's like on a simpler side as well, and I knew I would be able to do it with some paint markers. As you know, I'm like obsessed with paint markers right now, so it was like the easiest thing, you know. I could do the water droplets, and this was just a good warm-up sketch as I'm really in practice with like paint markers. Next drawing is this girl, and this is kind of me trying to see what anatomy would be like drawing on this size. This size is pretty small, and it was kind of hard because if you can see the comparison to my hand, it's like barely two hand size. Like if you put two hands like right above each other, it would barely make the size of this sketchbook. The sketchbook is very small, and that's why I took this challenge on, because I feel like I was be able to do it. But I did this anatomy and I think it turned out okay. This third drawing I did were these pair of hands. I went for like an abstract look with these hands because it was still the first day and I was still warming up, but I think they turned out pretty good in the end. I was just laying down a bunch of color and just hoping for the best with these ones, but they turned out pretty nice. There was a point in this drawing where I just like stopped looking at the reference, and I think it was around this point because it's like it wasn't even looking like the reference, but I had a lot of fun doing this. If you couldn't tell, the reason why all of these sketches are so fast is because I'm trying to get them done in a short amount of time. But don't worry, there will be a show and tell or a tour of what I do in this video at the end of the video, so don't worry, you're going to get all the final art in the end. So now to this drawing. I actually had a lot of fun doing this drawing. I think it's one of my favorites in this part of the filling the sketchbook series. It was this picture from Vogue. It was really nice, and I really just liked the movement of the piece, and I feel like around this point is when there was like a turning point in understanding of how to scale down my anatomy on this type of sketchbook, and I started actually having fun. As you can see, I added some stripes. If you know me, you know I love stripes, and I think it just turned out really nice. Next drawing is this bird. I was going to do more birds in the sketchbook, but this one, it would just turn out so good that I just don't think I was going to be able to one-up it. So I decided just to do this bird for this video. I think it's a crane, I'm not sure, but I had a lot of fun, and surprisingly I was able to get it done in a timely manner. I thought it was going to take years to get this effect. Around this time, I started to get a little fatigued and a little tired, so I gave myself a break and just did some very doodle bop-esque doodle paintings of some fish, seafood, like as if you're like in the grocery store. And I think it turned out pretty cute. It's definitely one of the simplest drawings in this sketchbook. Now I'm on to this pomegranate one. It was a very pretty reference, and it was something simple to give me a break from all of the other prompts I was doing, and I had a lot of fun with this. I don't know why, but this sap green color is just like so pretty. Like I actually like this, but I haven't painted with watercolor in such a long time, so this was honestly just me trying to get back into watercolor as well. It was like a cool medium, and I actually want to do like legitimate paintings where I take my time with watercolor, because I feel like now with my new skill set, I guess, I feel like I'll be able to create much better pieces than when I first started doing watercolor. But yes, I had a lot of fun. This pomegranate turned out kind of pastel, but I think I just left it like that because I just liked the spread of the ink. It gave a nice like watery effect, which is what I really wanted to capture when filling this book and not try to do too perfect. But yes, when I was doing this sketchbook, an effect that I wanted to try was the effect where the watercolor artist sprinkles salt into the wet watercolor and it spreads. Now I was going to do this, but I was not sure if they did this with watercolor or if they did this with ink, because I know people use ink as watercolor. So I was wondering if that effect was strictly for ink or if it works for watercolor. I didn't test it out. I should have just tested it out because I really wanted to try it on the shell of this crab, but I just opted not to because I just felt like I would crash out if I ruined a piece with some salt. So I literally just, scrapped the idea. But I definitely want to try do it in a future watercolor video. So, whoever dares me in the comment section to do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it in the next video. But yes, this crab was very fun, and it was honestly one of the prompts I chose as an easier prompt because it's just a big old crab. It's nothing really like intricate about it, I guess you could say. It's just very simple, but it's very effective in filling the sketchbook up. And I actually had more fun than I anticipated on having when doing this piece. If it wasn't clear already, I really like using blue in my sketchbook or just in paintings in general. It's just a really good color, and I just like using it when creating art. Also, I'm a little sick, y'all, so that's why my voice is like raspier than usual. Like my voice is like tore up from the floor up right now, but I'ma still perform because this is my duty. Yes, this crab is definitely another favorite of mine, and I think it's just because of the water bubbles and also the text. I really like doing like calligraphy and stuff. It's really fun for me, but I really do like this one a lot. It's definitely one of my favorites. Our final drawing for today's video is this shrimp. Now this is my favorite drawing. I had the most fun doing this, and as you could see, I feel like I look a little bit more confident while doing this as well, and that's probably because I just suffered for the past couple days doing the other prompts, so I was a little bit more in practice by force, of course. And this is kind of like a proven show of the more you do something, the better you get at it, because I feel like over time my watercolor, just looking at this video, progressed in this short span, especially just my regaining my confidence with this medium, as I feel like it's a well-known art supplies that a lot of artists are scared of. But I did have a big passive it, so I want to try to really get back into it and see what I could create nowadays. But this shrimp, I literally loved it so much. All the intricate legs and lining them, it was definitely fun. And I didn't really have high hopes for it because, I knew it was going to turn out good because shrimps are just so fun to draw as artists. I think a lot of artists like to draw shrimp. They're just really fun, and honestly, we kind of are a part of the species. But yes, this shrimp actually turned out so good and so pretty. And then even the surroundings, it gave a vibe that I always like to capture in my sketchbook, and I was able to capture that vibe here. I don't know what the vibe is, but it's a vibe that a lot of artists dabble in. It's so pretty, and I think the colors really complement the main piece, which is the shrimp, and I just like it so much. It's giving how they lay out the fresh seafood at the supermarket. That's the vibe I was trying to pull from with the barcode and stuff. Yes, it's definitely this one. I think I like this one better than the actual crab. But yes, I also had to add that little nervous water drop because he's about to get eaten. Y'all. But that's the last one. Okay, let's get into touring this sketchbook and everything that we did in today's video. Okay, so first page, we started in April, and this is our first page, April 6th. It's just these flowers that I did. I was going to do this as like a paint marker book, but then it was like soaking up the paint markers like crazy. So then I was like, is this like not made for paint markers? And I don't think it is. I think the reason why this paper does not work good with paint markers is because it's made to absorb watercolor or water. So it was absorbing the ink or the paint out of my paint markers like crazy. So this is about the only time I use paint markers in this sketchbook, watercolor sketchbook. Okay, second page is this girl, and I gave her this like henna background. It's supposed to be inspired by henna art, and then I put that same pattern on her jeans, and then I put this carpenter bee because I gave her like a purple aesthetic. So I put this purple and blue bee on the page. Very cute. Then this one was hands. This is when I really committed to the whole watercolor thing, but it was very abstract, and I just was putting a bunch of stuff down. It was actually pretty freeing, and yeah. Then I started to get into anatomy and just doing this full spread page things. And here I have this girl jumping, and I did like this ombre effect. I do it a lot throughout this sketchbook watercolor thing because I think that effect with watercolor is very nice. So I did that here, and it's kind of like ombreing up. You can barely tell, but you can see on her hands it's kind of like ombreing a little bit. Here I did it the opposite version. I ombre down with like a orangey red, and it's pretty cute. I put a lot of jumping words here and some speech bubbles. Now for this page, I enjoyed it. I did try to do like a little perspective of her like, you know, bending over or whatever, and just so it could fit on the page and stuff, because you know, this sketchbook is about the size of my hand, so I had to do stuff that I knew I could proportionalize properly for this sketchbook size, and I think I did a pretty good job. I liked the ombre, and I was kind of going for a simpler rendering style with this watercolor book since I'm out of practice right now. But here's the next one. It's this Vogue like cover art photo that I seen on Pinterest. Mind you, I get a lot of my references from Pinterest, so yes. And this is so nice. Like, I really like this page a lot. Yeah, I like this page a lot. And I did like stripe texture / pattern on the hoodie because I just thought it looked so good, and I love stripes, especially when creating art. Now this is a crane, or honestly I don't even know what kind of bird this is. Maybe a crane? I don't know. But yes, it turned out so nice. I actually was not expecting much out of this, being so I'm trying to go for a simpler style for all these drawings because I was on a time crunch, but I think it turned out pretty good. I really like it. Here is when I started getting lazy. I did like these little doodles, and I just put like scale patterns on them. It's pretty simple, but it's cute, and I just need something to fill the page this day. But it's pretty nice, still pretty nice. Then we have this pomegranate, and it's pretty pale, but I like that vibe because it's like watercolor, and I think I did pretty good. It's really nice and simple. Next page is this crab, and I actually really like it. It's really nice, and I went for a ombre on the claws and the legs, and I did a little bit of an ombre right here, but I think it's really cute. I like the water bubbles I added to add, like, you know, that oceany watery look, and it looks pretty nice. Now this, I love this one. I love this page a lot. I was thinking of turning it into a print or something because it just looks so nice. you know? It says, I have a family. It's supposed to be a reference from that shrimp from the, what's it called? Happy Feet? Where it's like, I have a family, please. It's supposed to be a reference from, it's supposed to be a reference from that. And then I put shrimp in this big text. If you don't notice, I'm really enjoying drawing text a lot in my art. Just because, you know, it's very fun. And that is the last page for today's video. As you can see, there's no more. And this is the last page. And I guess I'll give you a sneak peek into next week's video where I draw or finish this sketchbook. Here is the first sketch I've done. And she looks like a Just Me Art fan. I put her in a I Heart Just Me Art, and I put my username. Just go like writing my username out. It's very lengthuous. Is that a word? Lengthuous? Long? It's really a long name. Just Me Art. Like, that's a long name. I don't know why I picked that. Like, I envy people that have short names, like short, quick names. I have like such, oh, that's fine though. That's fine, but I like writing it out. And then here's a sneak peek. And then if you're good at pausing, here's another sneak peek. If you're good at pausing, so 1, 2, trace. Other than that, that is all for today's video. Now, you're probably like, Julia, usually people do like the full sketchbook, and I was supposed to do filling my sketchbook in a week, you know, that whole like, you know, that type of video. Your girl got the flu. Yes, the F-U-L-U. And it put me out of commission. Like, it put me down. Like, I was sick. I was bedridden. Like, I was locked in so hard. God was like, you know what? Only way she's gonna unlock is if I give her a fatal illness. And I got the flu. And I don't even leave the house. Like, you know, the only time I left the house was to go to the gym. And I don't even like going to the gym. But, you know, artists are, you know, dying and stuff because, you know, like, you know, you gotta take care of yourself, and like, you can get chronic back pain and like stuff. And I heard working out helps artists' bodies feel better. So I was like, you know, let's go to the gym. I go to the gym, I'm working out, and then after the gym, we got something to eat, and I'm not going to sit here and cap. I was tearing that food up, and when I thought back, I was like, did I wash my hands though? I don't think I did. So whoever was on that treadmill before me gave me the flu. And I got the flu mid-sketchbook filling challenge. And as you can see, in here I'm still congested. I don't think I'm done with the flu, but I'm done with the worst part, that I was able to get up and film this. But if you can hear me, like, I'm really still congested right now. But, you know, keep me in your prayers, y'all. You know, because I was down. Like, I thought I was gonna die. I slept for a whole day. It was a hard day. Yes, come back next week if you want to see this sketchbook get finished. Okay, you gotta come back next week if you believe that I can film this next week and post it. Comment. Is there a doctor emoji? You know, comment a doctor emoji and an apple for me, because I got the flu. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. Comment an apple to cure Just Me Art from the flu, so I can come back next week and finish this sketchbook for you guys. But other than that, that's the end of this video. Make sure you like, comment something nice, because I be getting bored, you know, I read the comments. I'll be trying to get back to y'all, But yes, comment, like, subscribe, and come back for more next week. I'm watching you. You better come back next week. Okay, get ready for this knuckle sandwich. Y'all ready? I'm hungry. Yeah, y'all. I was born with snaggle teeth. And I got it with retainers. And I wore a retainer for the whole video. Y'all probably don't know a lick of what I was saying. That's alright though. Y'all still gonna love me though?